Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K rock and metal channel. And today we're going to check out a band called Argyle Park. If you've never heard of them, I hadn't before checking them out today, so it should be a first. But I thought there's a reason we are checking this particular band out. So without further ado, let's go check it out. Favourites, the fade out. Could have faded out a minute and a half earlier. Argyle Park and Doomsayer. Andy, over to you.
In the intro, you said about the band name. My first thought was that sounds like the home ground of a Division 1 Scottish football team.
Oh, Plymouth
Probably
Argyle.
is.
Yeah. I mean, that was a sort of a really good example of the genre. I mean, I don't know what you class it as is metal, rap metal, electro, and it's not really my sort of thing. But it did grow on me as the track went on. I think we were saying just before we came back that it faded out and it was getting very repetitive, and it could have happened a minute and a half earlier, which I completely agree with. Under all of that lot was a really good sludgy metal riff, which I would love to have heard a bit more higher in the mix, or even on its own on another track. But yeah, I quite enjoyed that. If it came on, if I downloaded it on a playlist, I wouldn't be skipping it. I'd listen to that again, because that was a it's a good track, really good track. I say, not my usual sort of thing, but it's something you could certainly get into.
Okay. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, it's we said this before we actually started one of the videos earlier today, which is in this 4.5 minute song, there's a good 3-minute track there. There's just a lot of that ending. I was like, where's it going? It's just repeating, and it's not doing anything. It's not going anywhere, and you've completely lost my interest by the end of it. So I'd have much rather they took 1.5 minutes off that and just finished the song. Now the main riff, and basically all the riff, including the where for any Prong fan out there will know that is also the song Controller by Prong. So this song, or this riff and music, was written by Tommy Victor of Prong, and is exactly the same as the song Controller by Prong, which came out a year later. Which is such a weird thing.
Confusing, isn't it?
Well, when I first heard about this, and I heard that Tommy Victor had written the main riff for this band, for this song, which was then used in Controller, I'm thinking, oh, well, he's used a bit of it in Controller. And then I heard this, and I'm like, no, this is basically Controller, just with different vocals on. So he literally wrote the riff and stuff song in almost the same drum beat as well. The drum beat is slightly different, but it's almost the same. Gave it, they wrote some lyrics over the top of it and sang it. Then he went, all right, fuck it, I'm having this song back and I'm going to put it on my album. And he did exactly, just rewrote the lyrics and did a different vocal melody. And I have to say, Controller is a much better version of it. It's such a good song. But I've never known someone do that. Just write a song effectively for someone and then go, fuck it, I'm having it back. I'm going to put it a different name and redo the lyrics. And I don't know about you, Kirk, if you've actually seen that, but I was like, that's really odd. That's really weird that he's done that. What's your thoughts on it, Kirk?
So I just had a quick look at this band as well. So I just assumed it was a cover of Prong. And then I realized that this was released in 1995, and obviously Prong's Rude Awakening album comes out in 1996. So
yeah,
as you just explained, that's so unusual. Yeah, Controller is a much better song, isn't it? Because you've got a better drum sound, and it's less self-indulgent, like you said. That only needed to be 3 minutes and 50 seconds, if that. It didn't need to fade out. And when you listen to the Prong version, you've got that really good moment where there's this harsh guitar bleed and it brings the chorus back in. You know, you just got burned.
Yeah, it's a much more of a snipe, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's got that.
There's a snarl to his voice.
Yeah, he's got that New York type tough guy voice, hasn't he? So I've noticed that these are from New York as well, and they were considered a New York supergroup, although I've not heard of any of the names of the people involved. But yeah, because I know the original, I can appreciate that I guess you would call that rap metal, wouldn't you? You wouldn't really call that hip hop, even though it's got that groove to it, that pocket groove. Maybe, yeah. Now that you've told me the backstory, it makes sense, because I was just thinking, normally a band will sample a riff, and they've just taken the whole song there, but that explains it. Tommy Victor had composed it for them. I didn't really pay attention to any of the lyrics, because I was just listening how faithful are they to the Prong version, which, again, I'll repeat at the time, it's not a cover, so I'm still trying to get my head around that. Be interesting to ask Tommy Victor about this. We're going to be interviewing him soon, aren't we?
Maybe so I thought that'd be a good question to ask.
Yeah.
Well, what I did
behind that.
What I did notice is his Controller is 45 seconds shorter. So he obviously took a listen to theirs and went, yeah, that's way too fucking long. We're going to shorten that down.
Yeah, because that 1996 album is underrated in Prong's discography. That was the last one on a major label. It was clear they were going to get dropped after that album. They went even more in an industrial direction, didn't they? Let's not forget Cleansing, the 94 album, and this. Prong are really at the forefront of industrial metal, really taking it to new places, you know, after Ministry and Skinny Puppy and Nine Inch Nails and White Zombie. So they deserve a lot of credit for that. But this song, yeah, it's interesting. It didn't need to be over 4 minutes. Certainly didn't need a fade out either.
Do you know what? It's like Prong, that like they did it with, you know, like how Anthrax did Bring the Noise? That's what this reminded me of. I had the same vibe as Bring the Noise. Bring the Noise! Dun, dun, dun. Like, it feels like Prong, where they've got some rap metal guys or some rappers to come in and do a sing over the top of it. But it's the fact that it is Controller. It's Controller diet. It's Controller,
which nobody knew at the time.
Dave, two points from me. Kirk, you mentioned it being a New York supergroup when you hadn't heard anything. Is that connection? Is this why Tommy Victor is involved in this project?
Yeah, I imagine, because it's New York based. I mean, the 3 people listed: Clayton, Chris Buca Martello, and Dan Levler. To be fair, they've all got profiles on Wikipedia. So
I looked at all the other people that wrote stuff on the album, because there's a whole list of people that contributed.
Oh yeah,
I don't recognise anyone apart from Tommy Victor from Prong, to be honest.
Wasn't there a guy, one of the guys from Fetus? Oh, okay. So I know the band Fetus. I don't really know any of the others.
You said about has there been an example of this happening before? I think I've got one. I'm Angel Witch and Candlemass. I'm pretty sure Candlemass borrowed the music and done their own lyrics to an early unreleased album track by Angel Witch, which Kevin Hayborn then took back and reintroduced later on in the Angel Witch setup. You know, but there's the liner notes I've read on the the various CDs indicate that that's what happened. There was a communication between the two. I don't know how you sort of exchange songs back in the late 80s and early 90s without sort of the digital technology we have today, but I think that's pretty much happened between Angel Witch and Candlemass a few years ago. But yeah, that was a good track.
I'm just trying to check. There was one other one that suddenly popped into my head, but I can't remember. So the only other one that could be where something like that's happened is also Metallica, Megadeth, and Motor Breath.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, no, Four Horsemen, isn't it? Four Horsemen and Mechanics.
So did Megadeth get it out there first?
So we had the Four Horsemen by Metallica, and then on the next album, which was when Megadeth dropped their album the next year, Mechanics was on it, which is basically the Four Horsemen played much faster with a completely different lyric set.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because it was written at the same time, but he still owned the. So there's like a split rights of who owned it. So that would be another example of where it was done. And there's always that debate about which is better out of the two. The lyrics are much better on Four Horsemen than it is on Mechanics. Talking about his engine greens and balls of oil and.
And the production's better, isn't it, on Kill 'Em All than it is on.
It is on that one. Yeah, I'm a fan of the Four Horsemen versus the Mechanics one. It's just too fast. Getting old. Anyway, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.